For the shave today, we have in the Lather games, it's a tobacco day. And so I'm going to use Henri and Victoria, and it is Cognac and Cuban Cigars. Great soap base, I really enjoy it, and this is one of their flavors, their scents that I enjoy. A little bit less than 1/4 of a teaspoon, I think is all I'll need. Put that at the bottom of my Dollar Tree soup bowl. My brush for today is a Semogue Owner's Club with a cherry handle. It's a Boar brush, so I'm soaking it for just a few minutes. The razor for today is this vintage Gillette. It's made in the United Kingdom a long time ago. It is, you can tell by the rivets stuff here and the hollow handle and the lack of a center rail between the two doors, and then the solid base plate. Take this blade out. There's the base plate. It's not in a diamond shape, and then also this one you have the T-bars at the end of the center rail, and that will help you date it and tell you what kind of razor it is. This is a 21 UK Aristocrat Gillette 21. If they made any of the 21s with a closed bar, then I believe you would call it a 15. But I believe most of the 15s, almost, if not almost all of them, if not all of them, were open comb design. This is the blade we'll be using today, and here's the package. So we're looking at a Supermax Diamond Edge Super Platinum is what it says. And there's what the blade looks like. I think I've used it before, and it was okay in some razors. It was good in some razors, so we'll just see how it goes. For the Lather games, it's a beautiful piece. I believe the 16 is very popular. This shaves, I think it's a little bit more aggressive, a little bit better cutter than the 16, if I recall. All right, give a face wet. Shake out all the water from the brush, and at this location I have good water. It's nice soft water. I do use lukewarm or whatever comes out of the cold tap. Right now it's cool. And even with just the damp brush, we start getting a paste built up. And then I want to whip out my syringe for measuring and adding water at, to be able to track how much I add. I'm going to add it a little faster schedule and just see what happens. Maybe I don't need to quite combine it as much as I usually do. Nice cigar scent coming up. Plus it's also really early in the morning. I want to get back to bed. I kind of woke up and thought, let me go ahead and shave. coming together nicely. This might be ready. I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit more. Right now we're at about 3 teaspoons of water inside the soap. And I had some flexible peaks. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more. I think we're pretty close. So I added water pretty quickly. Maybe not quickly for some of you guys, but for me, I often will make sure it's mixed better before I keep adding water. And with some soaps, that might be important. I don't think it is as much with this one because this is looking good. So what I want to do is just make sure that what I have now is mixed well. Then we'll kind of re-look at the texture here. Long flexible peaks, let's just go with that. Wet my face again. This brush feels great. I think it's in maybe 15 uses, so it's a relatively young Boar. But this one broke in really quickly for me. Instead of the 18 uses the previous one broke in at, this one broke in at like 5. And when I say broke in, Boars take a while to break in. And so what I mean was it became usable like I'm using it here. I didn't have to go back to the puck prior to each pass after just 5 uses. And that's pretty remarkable, at least in my experience. This looks a little on the dry side. I'm going to add a little bit of water to the bowl. There we go. Alright, but let's shave with it as the first pass without trying to add more water, and I'm sure we'll be fine. Alright. 21. A lot of bite. A lot of blade feel with this particular blade. Yeah, it feels on the aggressive side. Sometimes that is made worse by a lather that's too dry because it's not really providing as much slickness, and so that could be part of it. So I shaved with the 16 yesterday. And this is definitely more aggressive than that. Only trying to apply as much pressure as is needed to keep the blade on the skin. Not trying to indent the skin or anything like that, as best I can. some popular razors that are popular just because they're so available. The Vanderhagen twist to open razors. They teach bad habits because they require you to press in a little bit too hard. So then when you move on from that razor to one that's just better built, better geometry, more efficient shaver, then you end up with a little bit of bad technique because now you're pressing too hard for that razor. This is a better lather, so it did need a little bit more water than I initially started out with, just a little bit. Man, this Boar brush is terrific. I was using this brush yesterday, and this is a Mozingo handle, but the brush knot is golden nib, and it's a silver tip, grade A, but it's not nearly as comfortable as this Boar brush that I'm using, and that's because I assume it's just very dense and it's very scrubby, whereas this is not really all that. The Boar is not really all that scrubby. And that's my preference. So I'm enjoying this Boar a lot better than how that knot performed for me yesterday. Cross grain pattern on my cheeks here. And I pretty much do 3 cross grain patterns on my neck by going up and down, up and or down. My neck hair is sideways, and so that's why that's a cross grain pass. Well, the blade was a little rough in the beginning. Of course, now that all the hair is mowed down, it pretty much always smooth out at that point. This also could be a blade that's good, but requires you to kind of smooth out the blade a little bit, the edge a little bit first. Some people do that by taking the cork and along the corner of the cork to drag the edge of the blade on there. Just once probably is all you need to do. Just to remove that burr that's on there from the manufacturer. Once that burr's gone, a lot of blades will smooth out on the second and subsequent shaves. A little half rinse. Good slickness as usual from this soap base. Nice scent. While in use, probably at about a 4 maybe for me. Enough to definitely not dominate or offend, but enough to experience it as you're lathering. 4 out of 10. So yeah, the a little bit less than a 1/4 teaspoon, plenty, has given me plenty of lather. switched back from cross grain to with the grain here. Just because no matter what I do, my cheeks get a really good shave, and I'm not going to irritate them by trying to chase down Baby Butt Smooth. Because my skin doesn't like Baby Butt Smooth anyway, if it takes going against the grain to get it. So I just do 3 cross grain passes on my neck, and one cross grain on my cheeks, and 2 with the grain on my cheeks. Basically how I do it, and that works all right for me. Let's check my little trouble area here. Ooh, that looks really good. It may have been rough in the beginning, but that's because it was cutting hairs. A little rinse here. Really nice slickness and face feel as I'm rinsing. It's like they put something in the soap to just help out your skin. Just have a good feel. Feels very slippery. A lot of residual slickness there. I'm not even going to bother with the usual neck pass. Let's show you how much lather is left over after 3 passes. Tons. So I could probably get away with half of a 1/4 teaspoon. So about 1/8 of a teaspoon, perhaps. So there we go. All right. Really happy with that. I'm going to throw on some Balm Nivea Post Shave Sensitive. It's very popular for good reason. It's got good ingredients. And it's inexpensive, and it's available everywhere. Walmart, drugstore, everywhere. All right. I have a splash that I'm going to put on Port-au-Prince from Stirling, a little sample. I'll try that one out. After all, we're doing Cuban cigars, so let's do Port-au-Prince for a splash. Try that out. And I'll kind of let this soak into my face before I put that on, and while I clean up. So I'll pause you. So how much water did I end up using? Next time I probably should use about 3.5 teaspoons of water for that amount of soap. If I back it off to maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon of soap, then maybe 3 or 2.5 teaspoons would be my guess. So there we go. But this time I used 3 1/4 teaspoons of water. All right, we're done cleaning up, and a great face feel from that soap and balm. Very nice. Be interesting to try that blade again another day and see if it backs off a little bit with its this bottle doesn't really have the little controlled throttler, the nozzle. Definitely a strong scent. Kind of a warm type scent. Very spicy. Not a whole lot of, very little irritation with that shave. No weepers or bleeders or anything like that. No cuts. Very happy with that. Face felt great afterwards, even before the lotion. The balm went on, so really happy with the result of the shave. Let's take a look now. Yeah, that's just very above average. So that's a great combination with this 21, with that Diamond Edge, Supermax Diamond Edge. Great combination for my skin. These two items may not be for you. Blades are subjective, highly, highly subjective. That particular blade may be junk for you. Okay, so take it for what it's worth. Yeah, that's a strong scent. I'd say it smells true to its name. Some spices and maybe some musk. Yeah, almost like cooking spices, but only when you look for it. It's just a nice warm scent. Pretty powerful. I may have put on a little bit too much, but it's not, you wouldn't think, oh, he's wearing something from the kitchen. You know, it's not that. But when you try to nail it down, then some of those spices seem to come from some of those items. So that's interesting. It's very, very warm. I'll have to wait, maybe see how it smells in about an hour. See how I like that. All right, there we go. We are done for the evening, or morning actually. Time to go to bed. Hope there was something on here that helped you, and that'd be great. All right, man. Take care. Good night.